by That's Gold Coin.
Good afternoon. My name is Linda Halverson Borchard, and today I am here with Don Costo from Costolivos Mountain Gold Winery, olive oil. And we are talking about all of his different selections of olive oils, along with his balsamic vinegars. Don?
Well, thank you, Linda. I know the community here in Mariposa really appreciates you and Bob reopening such a historic venue after being closed for like 22 years. And I know we appreciate the opportunity to be here with you today.
Thank you.
Yeah, great.
Well, tell us your history. Tell us where you come from, how you got involved in olive oil, how you wound up back here in the mountains.
Oh, well, how I got involved in olive oil as far as growing and producing is really simple, and for one person, and that was my doctor. So a number of years ago, of course, as many individuals around the country, we had a cholesterol problem. And so the only non-medicine type of prescription that he had on the top of the list was olive oil.
Nice.
And so, and of course, the Mediterranean diet, which in my mind brought me back to when I was growing up as a kid, and I was basically raised in an Italian neighborhood and home.
So your roots are Italian.
So my roots are Italian and Portuguese, actually, both.
Great.
So and that's how we got. When I got closer to retirement, you know, after 30-some years of working in the business community down in Los Angeles, which is like nerve-wracking, we decided to come back home and up in this area here and start producing and growing olives.
And do you grow your own olives, or?
We grow our own olives, well, many of our own olives, not 100%. We have we're kind of like boutique in that we have a small farm here in Mariposa. We do supplement when we need to, but it's also only supplemented with California extra virgin olive oil as our own.
Great. And which of these would you use most for cooking, or would you use them all for cooking, or more for salads?
Well, there's a variety of different uses, okay, and so then and what I wanted to talk about, or at least show you first, is how we even got started with the olive oil.
Great.
Yeah, great. And then where our roots came, and I'm going to come around the front here because I think it's really important to show the folks in on the set or in the audience there of where my family came from, my Italian side of the family. They actually came here from Bari, Italy. And if you notice, if you can zoom in there in the camera, you'll see that this is one of two actual areas that's green on the coast or the peninsula of Italy. In this area here, this is the largest olive oil producing zone in Italy. It's also one of the largest agricultural in vegetables and wheat and so on and so forth in there. Up here is Venice, just to give you an idea of where different cities are, Rome, Naples, and right here on the top is also another important city for us, and that's Modena. Not Medina, which is in Sicily, this is Modena, and Modena is also the world's largest producer of balsamic vinegars and balsamic oils. Now the big plus as far as oils and the balsamics both is they have many similar characteristics as far as health is concerned. Number one is they both lower cholesterol. And the antioxidants is well known. Also the vitamin K, vitamin E in those, which are also helpful to lower your cholesterol. And so in this particular case, what I wanted to also show are the two types of trees that we do raise on our small farm is Arbequinhas and also manzanitas. And the Arbequinhas, if you notice, if you zoom down here, Mr. Cameraman, you'll see here's the peninsula of Spain. And Spain in the north up here is where the Arbequinhas are grown. And if you can see this mountain range right here, that's the Pyrenees. And so they are a little bit more hardy as far as cold tolerant, et cetera, is concerned. And so then that's why we basically focus on the Arbequinha olives here in our neck of the woods.
And didn't you say earlier that we're on the same?
Right, you know, one of the bringing up, thanks for reminding me, an interesting fact is, you know, that historical fact is that peoples and agricultural products, you know, move along the same latitude, longitudes. And so right here, Bari, Italy is around 37 degrees north. on your longitude. Up here in the Aragon Peninsula or Aragon area of Spain, that's 37 degrees, okay? And this is where the Arbequinias come. Down here, Seville, which the manzanillas, which is a little bit different in Seville, olives and so on, that's at 41. And for those that probably know, our longitude here in Mariposa is 36 degrees. So we're basically in the same longitude area north as these countries are in these particular cities, and the growing zone, especially given the fertile valleys and so on in the mountain areas here. So this area here of Bade is a big producer of olives, big producer of wheat, artichokes, and of course, as you can see right here along the Adriatic coast, also has a lot of seafood, and we had enjoyed a lot of seafood when I was growing up as well. Right here, I just wanted to point out also, we were just planting some of the manzanilla trees in our first new grove, or last new grove that we were planting. I selected this photo specifically so you can see actually the mountains in the background. So we were embedded in the mountains here in Mariposa County.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Now tell us some more about your own history and how you started olive oil.
Well, my maternal great-grandparents, actually both sides, came here around the same time from about the mid to late 1800s. The Costas, which my family, the Portuguese side, came right to California and indeed right into the Central Valley and started growing. So the Costa side of my family has been farmers there, Turlock, Denair, that area there since well over 100 years. And then my mom's side of the family arrived here from Bade, Italy. The important factor about them is that they were cooks and chefs.
Oh, great.
And so then they ultimately they went through the Pacific Northwest. They cooked for the Santa Fe Railroad and for the hospitals and hotels. Ultimately, they kind of like continued to migrate west until they got down into the San Francisco Bay Area.
And they were used to using olive oil.
And that's where I was raised near them. And so then that's where we picked up in many of the recipes and so on, and that's what we carry here. So when we started to get back into this, or into the growing, what we were going to do, why we were going to do it, our whole focus is that for the home chef, the folks that actually go out to work and then they come home and they want to fix themselves a nice meal and they don't want to spend 4 hours doing it. And so then that's why our focus here at Costa Olivos is actually having a variety of different flavors and so on of not only the olive oils as well as your straight EVOs, which is extra virgin olive oil, but also the balsamics, so you have the combinations to use.
Good mixture.
Yeah, good mixture, right. And there's a couple of reasons why. Of course, we already mentioned, as far as you were referring back to what you were saying as far as cooking and so on, there's some important factors as far as using olive oils and processing olive oils and cooking with it. A few things right here is smoke points. Smoke points are really, really important to understand as far as when you actually put it in a pan and you warm it up and when it actually starts smoking. That's not a real good thing, okay?
Right, because it starts to change the flavor.
It changes the flavors, especially the Arbequinias, which is a very light, fruity to begin with flavor. It's best used, not cooked and actually used in its raw state. Some of the other oils, such as Manzanillo and so on, that are a little bit heavier, can be used. But the important factor is to keep track of your various smoke points. So we've got a canola, using straight canola as an example. The canola oils has a smoke point of 425 to 475, which is pretty high.
Right.
However, the straight olive oil, has a smoke point 325 to 375. Extra virgin olive oil, you can get up to 400, just a straight extra virgin, which are Arbequinias, but again, it changes the flavor. But also our Italian herb, as well. You can use that in cooking as well.
And a lot of people like to get things going real fast, so they tend to turn it up too fast.
Right. The best way to cook, if you're cooking, if you're baking, and Glenda, you know this too, is slow and warm.
Right.
If you cook items slow and warm, given what you are cooking, obviously, most items will come out much more tender, much more tasty, and
retain their juices.
Retain the juices. That's the other big thing. But the big bad things as far as cooking too hot and too long with these, of course, is with olive oil is that, number one, you lose the antioxidants out the window. But the next two bad things are that it actually turns toxic. You know, so there's those free radicals go crazy, and so it actually becomes a little toxic. So you don't want to really cook with your olive oil at too high a heat. Okay, so best used, okay, is you can use it to drizzle over salads. You know, it's a great way to use them, as you know, you're probably tell me as well. Drizzle them over salads. You can make sauces with them, as we'll show in the next segment. Just a variety of different things. Now, as I also bake with them on a low heat, so you can use. We have garlic and we have different flavors that you can use that work real well with especially chicken or fish. The lemon or the Italian herb, almost any of them in the garlic.
Right.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good. So, what we'll do now is what I'd like to try is now Linda has not tried any of our olive oils before. Okay, so what we're going to do real quickly is just give you a taste test.
Okay.
All right. Now, like I said, one of the best things, or one of the things that we really were going after when we were getting the oils and the balsamics, I'm going to do, now this is our blood orange olive oil. Now this is infused.
Yeah, you can totally taste the orange peel.
Yeah. And so then, okay, we're not done yet.
Okay.
Okay, so this is just to give Linda, of course, you can't taste this, but you can imagine. What we have here is, now all of our balsamics are from Modena, Italy. So this is our coconut balsamic in a white vinegar, balsamic vinegar.
Mixed with the blood orange.
Mixed with the blood orange olive oil.
What did that do? I can taste the orange.
Totally changes
it almost changed the texture.
Yeah, it changes texture, changes everything.
Yeah.
It becomes a brighter.
And later I'm tasting the coconut.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
And the more you mix it, the more they both blend in. Then, of course, you have your mixtures there. And right here, I've got to look, we have our basil. Now, it's important to note that our basil, our jalapeno, our lemon, in our garlic, we actually, when we're doing the press of the olives, we actually throw the fruit in with the olives. Taste the basil, right? So here's the basil. Now we're going to take one of our, just to show you a blend, is our, I'm looking down here, Cascade. Now the Cascade, this is a straight balsamic that is aged 8 years.
Ooh.
Cask aged 8 years, just like wine.
That smells really good. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I want a salad now.
Yeah, there you go. And then just the last one, I'm going to jump to our newest addition, which is our Blackberry Reserve. If I can find it here. There we are. This is Blackberry Reserve. This is the same folks that make the Cascade. This is aged 12 years in a blackberry reduction sauce.
This is just balsamic.
And it's a balsamic. The balsamic is aged 12 years, and then they add the blackberry balsamic reduction sauce. Great for just drizzle, great for putting on a marinade at the end of a
oh my gosh, that's good.
Yeah.
That is really good. That is
so
thick.
then, pardon me?
That is really thick.
Yeah. So I want to thank you for having us on tonight, and for all those that are watching.
Thanks for coming to Bet's Gold Coin and being here at our first sampling like this.
Make sure you check on to costalivos.com. Check our website. Thank you.
Thanks, Don.